Here is the Daily FM summary of the Latent Space that aired on Wednesday, July 22nd. This episode went inside Poolside AI with co-founder Eiso Kant in a very technical but also philosophical conversation about open models, coding agents, and what it takes to build a foundation model company from scratch. Eiso started with his origin story. He said Andrej Karpathy's 2015 post on recurrent neural nets convinced him overnight that neural networks could learn to write code. He pivoted his earlier startup into machine learning on code, spent 4 or 5 years and about $12 million pursuing the idea, and ultimately failed because the market was not ready and the team did not fully appreciate how far scaling would go. When ChatGPT arrived, he described it as vindication. That history fed into Poolside's current stance on open models. Eiso said he would rather live in a world with 100 foundation model companies than 5, even if Poolside were one of the 5. He distinguished open weights from genuinely open research, arguing that weights alone do not teach others how to reproduce progress. Poolside's recent technical reports are meant to share more of the machinery, not just benchmark numbers. The core of the episode was Poolside's model factory. Eiso argued that model building is 90% engineering. Data pipelines, distributed systems, reproducible experiments, reliable training, post-training, and reinforcement learning. Poolside's team of fewer than 70 researchers reportedly runs 10,000 to 20,000 experiments a month. A major unlock was streaming data directly into training rather than packaging huge data sets in advance. Combined with immutable data and version code, that lets them trace experiments down to individual tokens and reproduce old runs. A surprising point was how much agents are already involved in Poolside's own research workflow. Eiso said agents increasingly write code, launch jobs, evaluate results, and modify pipelines, especially in data and synthetic data work. He framed this as an early glimpse of recursive self-improvement, though humans are still choosing ideas and debugging. The new model, Laguna S, was the technical star. It has 118 billion total parameters, but only 8 billion active, and Poolside took it from training to launch in about 8 weeks. Eiso said its strength is not just raw intelligence, but behavior, persistence, verification, backtracking, and refusing to declare victory too early. That led to one of the episode's key takeaways. Smaller models may handle much more knowledge work than people assumed if they are trained to behave like persistent problem solvers. The discussion also looked ahead. Eiso believes reinforcement learning will move earlier into pre-training because next token prediction still extracts too little from the web. He criticized the industry's dependence on distillation and task environments as useful but addictive shortcuts. He also argued against bloated tool calling systems, calling MCP and traditional tool calls stupid in spirit, because future agents should often just write scripts inside containers rather than choose from dozens of predefined tools. On safety and policy, Eiso supported democratic oversight as models become more powerful, but warned that premature regulation could lock in an oligopoly of 2 or 3 companies. He also emphasized that unilateral safety does not work in a globally competitive race. The episode closed with the human side. AI changes engineering productivity by shrinking the time from idea to ship value, and Eiso said agency may become the most important hiring trait. High agency people, in his view, need shared goals and clear constraints, not micromanagement. Thank you for listening to Latent Space in 3 minutes from the Daily FM. See you next time.